Fakemon. You know them, you love them. A fantastic way to stretch your creative muscles and add personal or missing elements to a thing so many of us love, Pokemon. It's always been so deeply important to me. I mean, these little creatures are my friends. And I've always loved imagining the animals and inspirations that are important to me that I could make into Pokemon. I've been making Fakemon since I was in elementary school, and I've just started a new Fakemon dex based on my home region, the south of the United States. As a lover of animals and animal science, I'm very invested in evolution. It's definitely a special interest of mine. Why animals live the way they live, how they've come to eat the things they eat, what causes them to adapt, and how their personalities reflect that. I'm also someone who's very excited by myths, legends, and the stories we tell about life, the kinds of heroes we uplift, the kind of villains we write, and just how these things reflect our cultural consciousness. That's the kind of stuff we do here at Polecat Park. In other circles, I'm known as Sailboat Stowed, a streamer and ex-animation reviewer, and you can call me Simon. So, Fakemon, where do you begin? Where do you start? Where do you come up with the ideas? Maybe I have a vague idea or concept, but no real animal or subject or something concrete to go off of. An easy way to get a ton of related concepts and ideas together on a page is a word cloud. I've got a theme park theming, I'm in a party mood, so I'm thinking balloons. I start to just generate any ideas I can think of, any words that come up, weather, parties, colors, kids, anything related to balloons that I can think of. And when I make these, I just grab a handful of ideas that I think would go well together and then base a creature based on that. I'm thinking balloon animal. It's already an animal, it's a balloon. We're gonna make a balloon animal, Fakemon. Introducing Paloon, the balloon buddy Pokemon. From Pal, Palette, and Balloon. This Pokemon can usually be found making children and small Pokemon laugh with little playful gusts of wind and goofy squeaking sounds. Now this is probably my most used method. I just jump in and draw. It can be surprisingly hard to think of truly random things to draw, but it is just like any other skill. Just doodle and you'll get better at it. And in fact, a very easy skill to get better at, because as long as you have a notepad, as long as you have some paper, pencil, pen, hell, even into your own phone, you can always doodle out ideas. Just start drawing truly random things. I did a handful of drawings and settled on this little bear I drew. He was just too cute to leave alone. Introducing Honeycub from Honeycomb and Cub. This Pokemon can often be found licking its honey-covered paws. With both healing and soothing properties, the honey is a valuable ingredient in medicine around the world. One of my favorite methods for generating ideas is also one of the simplest. Just filling in an animal they haven't gotten to yet, especially if it's an animal that I love. Very popular and well-loved animals still don't have any Pokemon referencing them. For the longest time, we didn't even have a dolphin. Moose, llama, capybara, tamandua, these are all amazing animals that would be perfect for Pokemon. This can be especially easily done when there's some kind of ecological gap. Maybe there's a missing predator or an animal that's a natural rival to another. There's a mind-boggling amount of plants that are just unaccounted for. This thinking has led me to making a Pokemon based on one of my favorite animals, the spotted hyena. Yeah, we've got Poochyena, we've got Mightyena, and those are based off the brown hyena, but I doubt that's the hyena that pops in most people's head when they hear the word. My goal is to make the most hyena. I want the build, I want the personality, and I would love to make it fit in and interact with existing Pokemon. Hyenas tend to get negative representation, and I want to steer away from that. I give it a wide grin to reference that hyena laughter. I want to incorporate the spots without literally making spots. So I've made it a scruffy fighter that earns its spots. I've made those spots into scars, and some of those scars into stripes, kind of referencing striped hyenas. The two lion Pokemon that we have are fire and electric, and I thought making this hyena ground type would be a fun way to have it be a natural rival to both of them. It's a fighting type Pokemon that through its life becomes more and more covered in dust and dirt, eventually gaining the ground type and the ability to control these plumes of dust. I also later added in a bandage to allude more specifically to a fighting type. Now, this is a little weird and I typically don't do this, but I'm making the evolution first and then working backwards. That's just how the creative process goes sometimes. I strip back a lot of the detail. I make it smaller, of course. I make it cuter. I allude to a little bit of dust and dirt, but I don't want it to be ground type just yet. I want it to gain that as it ages up. So this is just what I've done to the pre-evolution. Meet Tuffy, from tough, the type of dirt, tough, as in strong and resilient, and puppy. This Pokemon can almost always be found roughhousing in the dirt with others of its species, and it will even fight long into the night, and is rumored to have endless energy. And its evolution. Cradina, from Crud and Hyena. After spending its whole life fighting in the dirt, this Pokemon is covered in constant clouds and dust and dirt that it uses to its advantage in fights. Despite how rough it fights, this Pokemon can be incredibly friendly and will fight to the death to protect those that it cares about. This is probably one of the most fun methods. It's very easy, very straightforward. Just make an addition to it a Pokemon. Give it a Mega Evolution. Make an alternate forms. They've really expanded the flexibility of what you can or cannot do with Pokemon. Maybe you make a variant based on something you know. I mean, Pokemon are just itching to be altered. And there are plenty of Pokemon that are that feel like they're missing a little bit of a little zest to them. Maybe they just need another evolution. And that's what we're gonna do today. I want to give Sunflora an evolution. Badly. Badly. It's just like, what is this? It's a sunflower and it's so short. What is a sunflower doing without that height? And immediately right off the bat, I know I want to give it more height. So I want it to allude to roots and give it this sort of dragon-like shape, because I want the sunflower to be fire type. That's a pretty straightforward, pretty understandable direction to take it. That's a direction I've seen a lot of people take their Sunflora variations. And I like the idea that maybe it uses its sunflower seed oil, heats it up. It's pretty close to the sun. You get that heating up property, and then it uses it against enemies. Starflora, the sun Pokemon. From Star, Sun, Flora, Flare, Sunflower. You get the gist. This Pokemon always faces the sun, no matter what. Even inside buildings and underground, this Pokemon manages to always face the direction of the sun. It stores up vast reserves of solar energy that it uses to shoot fiery, explosive blasts at opponents. So what do you think? Do you like the Pokemon? Do you like my methods? What about yourself? What methods do you use to generate ideas? I know I didn't touch on all of them here, and I didn't even get in all the ways that I use. Maybe you like basing creatures on fairy tales, your favorite songs, maybe you do extensive research. Whatever. Just let me know some of your methods. Maybe I'll try them out next time. And I'll see you then.